then. Okay, welcome. So we're going to do something simple now. Let me have the second mic. You just please say, reduce it. There's a class there. You just please say your name and say where you work. Just we'll move on. And we thank everyone for coming. This is Africa 2100. And today we are gathered because someone had a vision. Someone had a vision of empowering young African entrepreneurs. And he didn't just sit on that vision, he went on to test run. Had a workshop in Kenya, had a workshop in Nigeria, had a workshop in Ghana. And from there, selected a few persons to be part of what we call the FRP, the Foundational Readiness Program. Now, those people who were selected, 25 of them from 3 countries, they went through a 12-week-long training. They had online modules, they had master classes, they had webinars. Some of you in this room were part of some of those master classes. You facilitated, you mentored some of them. And today we have people who have flushed out their ideas, they flushed out their concepts. Those in Ghana, those in Kenya, they've had their demo days. Some of them came with just an idea, there was nothing. Today, they have businesses that organizations are partnering with them to get off the ground. And now we have the grand finale of all the demo days here in Nigeria. We have 3 candidates here, and they are going to be pitching their businesses. But before they come on, I want to invite the visionary of Africa 2100 who chose to do something. He could have sat down where he was and just, folded his hands up, give handouts, but he chose to do something else to empower people to help themselves, to help them help themselves, to help them help their community. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Mr. Trudy Obiaya.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for making the time to be here with us. It's a privilege to have you here join us. So this organization, which Barry just talked about, Africa 2100, is less than a year. I started this late last year because I'd always had a concern and challenge having lived in diaspora for the last over 30 years. I always wondered every time I got reach outs from relatives seeking help and assistance, financial help and assistance. My question had always been, instead of giving them fish, can I teach them how to fish? Because giving them fish, I only fed them for that moment. Teaching them to fish, hopefully could feed them for a lifetime. So late last year, I had the opportunity to begin going through discovery to figure out the how. So I knew the what. I didn't know the how. How could I go about that? So I thought of, how about if there was an online platform where we could have those who desired to help themselves come to the platform, and we could match them with what it was they needed to move forward. I have always loved entrepreneurship. I had a startup about 20 years ago, which I ran for 5 years, and it bled to death. Little did I know that there was a purpose to that. It fed some of what you see today, because I had that experience of trying to build and recognizing the challenges it takes, because it's a lonesome game. So what I did was late last year, I decided to test out my hypothesis that there are indeed people across our continent who desire to help themselves, who want to do something, who want to be empowered, but just don't know how to go about it. So I put out a social media ad, as Beryl mentioned. I did so across Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya, asking, are you an entrepreneur? Are you looking to start a business and need help doing so? And I ran this for 7 days, and I got 550 responses. Because I said, if this is you, click on the link, complete the survey, and tell us about it. And I got 550 people who decided to tell us about it. Some of them are here in the room today, who are some of those brave ones, because I asked them thereafter that, how come you took the risk? Because did you think this was a scam? And some of them say, yeah, but what did I have to lose? Which is the mark of an entrepreneur. The risk neutral, the willingness to try something because you just don't know what you don't know. So it was the beginning of this journey. I validated the hypothesis that this thing truly does have legs. So what I now came up with is Africa 2100, and I'll tell you why it's called Africa 2100 in a moment. So Africa 2100 seeks to improve the lives and well-being of those in underserved communities by educating and matching those who desire to start a business with the resources they need to make their dreams a reality, their entrepreneurial dreams a reality. So we now move to the next stage. So now I validated that indeed there are people out there who choose to start a business or do something for themselves, who I could help empower, give them back their agency. And so it now became an issue of what is holding them back. If they have that desire to start a business or do something for themselves, why haven't they done so? So we conducted workshops in Nairobi, in Accra, and Lagos, and Abuja last March. And I did so with about 25 entrepreneurs, or some of those individuals whom we initially engaged back in December. And during the workshop, I was trying to find out what is it exactly that's holding you back or stopping you back? How can we meet you where you are? Which was a learning from my first exposure doing a startup, because I pursued the approach of build it, they will come. Because I thought I had the best things in sliced bread back then, which I found out, nah, it doesn't work that way. So this time around, I was trying to understand and meet the potential customers where they are, which are these aspiring entrepreneurs. So I then conducted the workshop to do a number of things. One, give them some rudimentary understanding of what it takes to do a startup. Two, I tried to assess what exactly it was they need relative to the model. So validate my model, the model I was proposing, which is an online platform where they come up to and we match them to what they need. I also wanted to foster that camaraderie between themselves, because those of you who are entrepreneurs know it's a lonely thing. It's such a lonesome and it's really a terrifying journey. So to the degree misery loves company, let's introduce you to others who choose to be miserable. Let's connect you with them so at least you can walk along together and commiserate together. So that was the third objective. The fourth objective was to identify the stars amongst them, because I knew I needed to pilot whatever I was talking about Because the one thing that quickly became evident was everybody that we asked, what is it you need to move forward? Anybody have a guess what exactly they said they needed?
Money.
Yeah, every entrepreneur believes or founder believes, just give me money. But the more you talk to them and the more you peel the layers, you quickly recognize that if you give them all the money in the world, nothing was going to happen. Because they didn't have the rudimentary understanding of what it takes. They couldn't tell you what their value proposition was. They couldn't tell you who the target segment, how large the market was, or how exactly they were going to execute, what their business model was. All they knew is they had an idea, and they needed money to make the idea come true. Nothing like bootstrapping, nothing like proving it out, no. So it became evident that it wasn't as easy as just bringing them to the platform and matching them to what it was they needed. They needed the fundamentals too. So hence the 12-week program of trying to train them first, give them that understanding. Along the way, I ran into information that further validated what I was trying to do here. And that was that there is a projection, given our population growth on the continent, there's a projection that 1 out of every 3 youth in the world on this planet Earth will be an African by 2050. 1 out of every 4 people on the planet is going to be an African. So just think about that a moment, the human potential from that. But unfortunately, that's where the good news ends. The challenge is that 30 to 65% of our youth are unemployed or disengaged. Not because they don't want to do anything with themselves, but we don't have jobs for them. We don't have the jobs, we don't have the support. And we told them, go to school, and when you're done with school, hey, your future is bright. They went to school, they listened to us. But the schooling we gave them did not foster that critical thinking. After the schooling, if anybody were to hire them, they would still need to retrain them to give them the skill sets they need to do the work. But the projection is by the next decade, we'll have 1 billion plus people in our working population on the continent. But there are only 1 billion plus jobs for such people. So how are we going to do that? No government can create those jobs. Not the amount of jobs we need to keep all of them engaged. Hence, entrepreneurship. They need to create the jobs for themselves. But they don't have the skills. We didn't give them the skills because we're still dealing with the legacy of the colonial powers that put in place an educational system that relinquishes us to just take orders. Listen and do what I tell you. So the intent here is to give them those skill sets. The critical thinking over 12 weeks, it's a humongous task. But we've proven it can happen. We've done it. By what I've seen, because this is my third and final stop before I head home. We did this 2 weeks ago in Nairobi, and I was blown away by the growth that has occurred over the 12 weeks. So we did it again. I thought, okay, maybe it's a fluke. The Kenyans are just on top of things. But we saw the same thing last week in Accra, Ghana. And it just gladdens my heart to see there is something here. There is something here. We just need to empower the youth on our continent because they need it. So this whole exercise and effort is really to give them back the agency. Otherwise, the projection, I don't know how many of you have read the book or heard of the book called Youthquake. So Youthquake is a book, it talks about the population growth on our continent, and it talks about the perils that we're going to encounter if we don't do something to engage our youth. We saw a little piece of it in Kenya a few months ago. We saw, I think there was some of it in Nigeria, where our youth are not engaged and feel forlorn and they're feeling neglected. And as such, they are ripe for recruitment for terrorism. They try to head to greener pastures, crossing the desert, human trafficking susceptible to that. They're drowning, trying to cross through North Africa into Europe. So it can be a different story. How can we all make it a difference? And that's really what we're trying to do. Some of you are already helping us, mentoring. Thank you for that. We need all the help we can get. I like to refer to this as a movement. It's not about me. It's about these guys, some of whom you see here today. We selected 25 of them from the original 75 who I encountered in March. And of the 25, we had 7 who pitched in Nairobi. We had 9 who pitched in Accra last week, and we have 3 who are pitching here today. It's an intensive program. And but we are not trying to soften it, because it's, no matter how intensive we make it, they are going to face wars out there. We're just trying to help them withstand and avoid some of the common obvious mistakes and pitfalls, because entrepreneurship is all about failure. You will fail. The question is, will you pick up yourself after you fail? And will you know why you failed? Because there were a few people who did joined us. I remember there was a guy in Nairobi. He actually lives on the border of Uganda. And we were trying to make things less tedious for people who were going to attend. So we're focusing on those in the Nairobi area. But he faked us out by telling us he lived in Nairobi. And then when we would call them to validate who was going to attend and validate logistics and all, we found out where he lived. And he insisted, because he had to drive or travel 8 hours to get to the location. And we were trying to talk him down and from making, he said, no, he needs this, he wants this. So I said, hey, that's a mark of an entrepreneur. If he wants to do it, please let him come along. So he did. He traveled all night to get there for the workshop. And when I was talking to him to find out why were you so insistent, he said, times with starting up a business, but he didn't know what he was doing wrong. So he understood and began to recognize that all the good things stop in Nairobi and don't make his way into the hinterland. So this was his one opportunity. And he was the first one who presented in Nairobi 2 weeks ago. He now has a product. He had his porridge for us to eat that morning, before his presentation. So it's things like this that tells me there is need for this. And this has validated that this thing has legs. So now it's scaling. And we need all the help we can do, get to scale. It's a movement. So please, let us know how you can help, because I know each one of you can help. So we will meet you where you are, however you can help us. And for those already helping us, thank you for that. Beryl, and thank you, Beryl, for all the support. So Beryl is, I realize that on our continent, you have to be on ground for anything to happen. So not on ground, but for this thing to have life, I needed to find people who were of similar mind, who could assist to drive the logistics and interact with this food. with the individuals, because we have a virtual online learning platform. We also have an online community. And the entrepreneurial online community we have today has people. We probably are going to double that, and maybe our goal is to get to over 300, which I think we already did, because after this, tomorrow, to conduct a workshop in UU on Friday morning, and we have about 30 people. There were 150, 135 who applied, who wanted to be part of it. Unfortunately, we only accommodate 30, 25 to 30. So, because we're getting ready to ramp this up now and scale. And it's really, how can we expand our capacity to support them? So I was saying all of that to say, Beryl has helped us execute and bring this into realization. To dream and to have an idea is the easy part. It's the execution that's tough. So I rest and rely on Beryl and her organization to help us continue this journey. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Let's put your hands together. You can do better. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chudi. It's not easy. Sometimes I feel for him. I really feel for him. For time's sake, we're just going to move things, fast track, what we have to do today. And we're going to be calling candidates to come make their presentations. They will come, they will introduce themselves, and they will speak for 7 to 10 minutes. And thereafter, we would have the audience engage. You can ask them questions. You can make suggestions. Yeah, I'll just leave that to you. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as I welcome the first candidate, Mr. Brown.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yes. Just while we wait for her to put up my slide, my name is Brown Mike Kebo, and I'm a media entrepreneur. But for this purpose, I'll call myself a laughter entrepreneur. Yeah. So today I'm going to be talking to you or sharing my funny story. And I'm going to share my funny story. So please move along with me. So first of all, I'll first say story. Yes. All right. Now, it all started sometime in 2012. In 2012, I was an SS3 student of King's College, Lagos. I love to make people laugh. I discovered something. I discovered there was a problem. And that problem was a lot of students were going through depression, young persons and all that. And I just wanted to ease that thing. I just love to encourage people and make. So on October 1, 2012, I organized an event and I called it Laugh Independently. I'll maybe call it the first comedy show in the school history. Brought in some friends that they don't even know if they were funny, but I just had to, try to motivate them. I know you are funny. And it was amazing. And fast forward to 2024, yes, I started a 2100 journey. And I'd already started a vision, a TV dream. But I knew I wasn't doing the right thing. I wanted to run a news channel, but it wasn't just working. I wasn't operating in my maximum capacity because I love to make people laugh. And Nigerian news, they don't make you laugh, right? So, began to think and I began to do something. During the course of the 81 journey, there was a module that we went through, and that was the Know Your Customer. I discovered that the people were people that loved to laugh. And they were not concerned about the issue of Nigeria. And yeah, so I did a social experiment. So 5 weeks ago, when I started do something on TikTok, and because I said, okay, where are those people that I can make that love what I do? I said, okay, let me do a social experiment. And I created something, relatively. In 1 week, we got about 9,000 views in one video. And I began to think, okay, what can we do? What can we do? Then, after putting in contents upon content, borrowed content, but I was leaving out where I got it from. So a few days ago, we've gotten about 9,000 followers without anything. Then our most viewed video is around 564,000. So that has been, the journey. But you ask me why comedy. I just personally think everyone deserves to be happy, right? We all deserve to be happy. And most of our demography that take them off the issues of life. They don't want, they want relatability. Young persons, they desire progress. They don't want to be getting the information that Boko Haram just kidnapped somebody and all. So they wanted to make them happy. And so I began to do that. And then I said, okay, this is what I am going to do. So I created the organization and I called it the Funny Channel. Now, the Funny Channel is a pan entertainment network using laughter as a tool for mental awareness, mental health wellness, and to build a culture, cross-cultural inclusivity. In Nigeria, one of the problems we are really facing is the problem of unity and all that. And I thought about it. I remembered in 2012 how I brought different tribes in one room, make them laugh. Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, we made them laugh, right? So I created the Funny Channel and to help emerging stand-up comedians, because I have struggled over the years as a comedian when I was in Lagos, then I moved to Abuja and all. Struggled. So I felt there's a platform we could create for these upcoming comedians or emerging comedians. I think that's the best word. And what are we solving? Improving mental health awareness with laughter, encouraging economical growth and cross-cultural integration through laughter, discovering emerging stand-up comedians and creatives. Now, I ask myself, okay, so how am I going to deliver this to the people I'm trying to serve? So I thought about creating a quarterly comedy and creative event, which is called One Funny Meeting. And it's going to be, the first edition should be on November 30th, 2024. And about radio drama, thanks to my mentor, who gave me an idea. Said, why don't you also go into radio? Do something on radio. And I came up with a radio drama called Naija Now. I have a demo, but maybe time will not permit me to play it. We have private comedy events for organizations. So an organization can call us during their team bonding and all, and we'll make them laugh. Now, you will wonder whether we will just be saying all manner of things. No. We are building ourselves to some kind of level where people will not just laugh for anything. They will laugh for something. So we also have virtual comedy events, which we're working on doing, having the first edition in January 2025. So now, why I was saying that comedy has evolved in Nigeria is because starting from 1995, from Night of a Thousand Laughs, as a regular comedy to Alibaba January 1st, we started in 2014. And then A Billion Laughs, we started 2 years ago. Now, A Billion Laughs does comedy by teams. So, for example, they will organize an event like this, and they will team their event to probably entrepreneurship. So, everything that will be cracked up that day as a joke will be around entrepreneurship. And that is a form of learning, right? So we believe that we are also going to do something like that as the Funny Channel. And, in doing so, we are, yeah. So you will be wondering, how is that possible? We discovered in Niger that some persons have done it before, and they did comedy to raise awareness for safe migration. So I said, if that was possible, then we can make a joke around some things and necessarily make rubbish or whatever. All right. So when we look at entertainment, there's money in entertainment in Africa. Over by 2025, by PwC, they says 7.5 trillion by 2025 with a growth rate of 15%. So we are looking at putting, making comedy itself, to something that market will love. And our target market, like we said, male and female, biological male and female, right? 18 to 45 years, seeking uplifting entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. So we've been wondering how we're going to get, like I said, we're going to be distributing, producing original content. Now, we've been using borrowed content, but this time around, we want to use our own content, and that's one of the reasons why we're starting the One Funny meeting, and also creating the radio drama, and as well push-up. All right. So, progress, trying to put the content for and TikTok, and as well, and all that, and our revenue. Wonder how monetization on YouTube and TikTok. If we get to 10,000, which we are getting to in few days from now, YouTube. We're looking at, openly getting our YouTube to some standard 1,000 subscribers, 4,000. Able to get them content monetization, and as well ticket sales from our One Funny meeting, and as well sponsorship and advertisement for our meetings, and as well content sales to radio about, which is quite comical and interesting. All right, so this is my team, the Funny Tribe, and I'm the chief content officer. Then I have Mr. Chidema Frank, who is the lead videography and content strategy. Mr. Samuel Ochibo, who is the lead digital marketing. And how support us, ladies and gentlemen, which is the One Funny meeting, and to bring about young persons together in an atmosphere and conversations on societal issues. And the secondly is a radio drama, Naija Nawa, a 2-minute radio drama series portraying the societal issues faced by Nigerians, right, in the bid for a better life. You can, if you're looking for a physical location, but you can find us in any of these locations and on YouTube, channel NG. All right. One thing many people do, we all work together, we are all sitting together, but there's a problem. Many people do not. We want to encourage a culture where everyone laughs together. Because I believe if we all laugh together, we can all be one or united. Because there's something, if we all laugh together, then obviously there's something that is making us laugh. People that laugh together will always stay together. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for this time.
Okay, thank you, Brown. Do we have comments, questions from the audience? Can we have the second mic, please? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I like your presentation. Just one point that you made, because you are a funny. Sorry, what do you mean by biological male? Biological male and female. Thank you very much. That's my question. I'm sure you are a comedian too. That I also want to trade back.
Hi. Hi. Why are you dropping your previously curated content? Curated, like the others you've been putting up with the other guys. but it's working for you now.
We have the mindset to create our own original content because over time, probably when we become $1 billion, which will be soon, they want to say,
So is there a time frame in which you're going to drop it? You're just dropping it instantly.
for now, we're doing that, but we want to start producing our original content from November, from the one funny meeting that we have in so that will be the first edition.
Okay, it might be a good idea not to drop them completely because, quite frankly, it's helped you up until now. So just cutting off cold turkey might be a bit weird because that's part of the reason why they're following you now, right? So I would suggest you don't drop it. Don't drop them immediately. It is helping you. So why are you killing what's working? Do you know what I mean? And why aren't you on Instagram and Snapchat?
All the accounts and
No. But it's the same content you're using though. It's the same content. You link them. It's not hard. No? It's just a suggestion.
Okay, Mr. Brown, thank you for thinking about humanity. I know the effort is not entirely altruistic, but then the thought is commendable with all the tensions going all around. Like you can actually put a knife through some people's faces and nothing is going to happen. So thanks for thinking about us in this light. This initiative you have, is there anything like it before now? Okay, so I see you as a pace setter in this area. You must look out for people who come to learn from you in future. So there are lots of pitfalls to look out for. And it means that a lot is on you right now because the thing about content is you may have something beautiful, but the plan for consistency, you've outlined a number of things I see there, but you are yet to do those things. So the doing is different from the visuals that we see. So there must be that plan for consistency. Sometimes we come across very good content, but I fear most times to put it out there because as soon as you arouse interest, you need to be consistent with that. So there must be that plan in mind, always a plan B or something to keep that audience. And when I listen to you, I saw a little bit of theater for development in what you're doing and in that light. So for me, beyond making people laugh, why are they not laughing first? What is the need for that? So in your collaborations with people, you may want to see how those issues are responsible for why they are not laughing can be addressed on this side, and it can become part of your content, so that you're not just saying, but you're doing on this side to see that. I think I'll have more questions as we progress. I could let other people speak here.
Thank you for your presentation, which I actually enjoyed. I love your confidence, and you also come across as very personable. Okay, so similar to the question from the lady up there, I think you should think carefully about dropping the content, other people's content that you're sharing. You can look at Yaba Left Online. I don't follow them consistently, but I come across their stuff. It's a well-known brand, but I don't think they produce any content themselves. Now, I'm not sure whether they're making money. I'm sure you know about that, but it's been demonstrated that you can build a channel based on other people's content, so don't drop it. Plus the fact that it's very difficult, I think, to create content, I think so, and to do it sustainably, right? So you may want to just do both together. That's one. The second comment I have is about the range of revenue streams that you project. I think it's quite broad, right? So it could be difficult to pursue all. So maybe find a way to use your content in, so, you know, same content, but in different channels. So you're not stretching yourself too thin. And also focus on, so precisely where is the money going to come from? And then focus on that to make sure that you're making money, even if it's several channels, but you're putting enough effort into that money making, because you're going to need money to come in at some point, right? So invest in where you believe that that money is going to come in. And then hopefully your investment will pay off in later years. And then my final comment is about, you showed some partners. I don't know if they're co-owners or employees. So you really need to be clear about that. You know, are you the sole owner of the business, or are they partners and shareholders of the money? Because honestly, with entrepreneurship, one big challenge is with who owns the business and how well can you sustainably work together over time. You know, so don't take it for granted. If they're partners, you need to sit down and have discussions about it and think whether, do you need partners? And if you're going to need partners, what is the nature of their involvement? Who owns what? You know, and it doesn't always work out. You know what I mean? So that's another risk area that you have to kind of think of as you start. Well done.
Okay, I'll try and be really quick. So thank you so much for the presentation. I got your energy. What I really missed from your presentation was maybe a clip or to demonstrate what you're doing to make people laugh, because it was very, you know, yes, you've done a business presentation, but I would have loved to have laughed. And then sitting back here, your slides were problematic, and it's the yellow. Yellow often stands out, but the further you go, it bleeds, and we couldn't read some of the wording. So one of the tips I always say to people, when you're going to do a presentation, after you've put together your slides, go and stand in the room where you're going to present. Stand as far back as possible, and let your slide roll over so that you can see what your audience can see. Because it is distracting if you've got the slides there, but we can't see the actual content effectively. But otherwise, yes, there's so much more I could say, but I'm going to keep quiet so that other people can talk.
Yes, so I just want to just quickly add this because I'll be very quick myself. As a content creator myself, one thing I believe in any venture that we should always focus on is the story behind of what our content provides. And the one thing I would say as a piece of advice for anyone who wants to do like any particular content, trust in your own creativity. It's for me, I believe in that. It's because every creator's story has a uniqueness, and I would say it's important for this channel to succeed is to make sure you always trust in the creativity that you want to bring and why people want to laugh, and don't lose sight of that.
All right, Brown, well done. I can see some very significant improvement. I mean, from where you were some months ago. Congratulations. So when Mr. Chudu was talking, there was something he said about value proposition. Now, it is very, very important in the life of an entrepreneur. What is that value you're proposing to your target audience? It's very important. Now, from what you said, you want to make people laugh. And for me, I know that we all laugh. Most times, yeah, we do laugh. And that we have in abundance people that make us laugh in Nigeria. But the challenge is that immediately that event closes or you're removed from that environment, the problems of Nigeria just floods back. So it doesn't help. It's just like somebody taking hard drugs. When you're under the influence of the hard drug, you're fine, you're happy. But once it wears away, reality comes calling. So, and this is where your value needs to come in. What is that thing that you're going to share, that underlying message that you're going to present using laughter? Such that if I go home, even after laughing in your event, I go home, it gets me thinking and then change my life for the better. If you're able to do that, then you have a business because people will now seek you out to say, well, there's something I get to learn when I listen to Brown making me laugh. I think that's all for now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. I really love your presentation. To start with, I want to acknowledge that you're on the right path. You've stumbled into an industry that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. For me, you are more or less a comedy blogger, to put it right. Over the years, we've seen people that have made names and recognition in this event. We've seen Funny Africa on Instagram and the likes of them. Like most of the commentators said, your content does not need to be yours. But most importantly, is for you to know that whatever content you're putting out is one that engages your audience. That's what you need. I do not believe that you need money from anybody. I don't think so. You've been able to build your Instagram platform within a week or few weeks till 9,000. I think the benchmark is 10,000 for you to start going viral. And one of your videos did over 500,000. So if you continue on that trajectory, I'm sure that before you know it, that itself, just the Instagram page itself, will fetch you enough revenue to do whatever project you need to do. But what you have to take into consideration is that you don't need to do everything at once. Have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. You say you want to do a radio, you want to do this or that. I don't want you to model everything together because consistency is very, very important. So if you can stay on with the social media engagement, build up a channel that automatically fetch you enough revenue to do whatever pet project you want to do afterwards, it helps. But you'll be comfortable at that point in time and you can choose and pick. And even your channels will not be a force to reckon with. It will be easier for you to get the A-list comedians in the country that will want to partner with you. You understand? So I think that is what you should do.
Okay, last comment from the next candidate for time's sake.
Yes, Mr. Brown. I beg to differ from all the other commentaries. Your presentation is below par. First, you were very careless about your presentation. You jumped from 2010 or thereabouts when you were in the university to 2023 without any interface, without any linkage. It was there I started losing you. Then you fast forwarded and you didn't talk about any numbers. And what I want to ask you now is that, have you made any money? I know the answer is no. I already know that the answer is no. The reason is that I have a company that buy content. When you watch football at times, I invest in that business. So content is not something you joke with. There are copyright issues. In fact, I'll sue you if you use my content. And you said you acknowledge it. Have you shared revenue with those people? So you need to go back and do some fundamental work. And also, don't come to a presentation where you're looking for money and you're all over the place. Somebody mentioned radio, you mentioned laughter, you mentioned comedy. Where are you? And then in your presentation, there are no numbers. There's no revenue stream, there's no cost profile. You were just joking around, if you ask me. So if I'm a potential investor, I'll be politically correct with you, tell you, Mr. Brown, you were fantastic. But once I leave here, I'm not going to take your call anymore. So young people need to be very, very careful. You must have your proof of concept. You must make sure that money, that proof of concept will make money. Because anybody who makes his money the old-fashioned way will not give you money unless he believes in your proof of concept. And then you can start small and then scale. So you need to be very, very careful when you're asking for money. You have to be debt focused. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for him. You have a response? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brown. Michael.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Michael Ndwe, a participant and a candidate of Africa 2100 and the managing director of Artec Solutions. Before I got into tech, I grew up in a family whereby we weren't doing any color job. Before I got into tech, we grew up in a family whereby we weren't doing any color job. Most especially my mom was into business, getting contracts from Mobile in Eket, Akwa Ibom State, and executing the contract. And then my brother finished from University of Port Harcourt, got a job in Abuja, but after 3 years, same thing. He started his own business. And after finishing the university as well, I went to stay with him under the business, learning this business, which is IT hardware. And also, late December, I got a scholarship from Google IT Experience to learn cybersecurity while still being in the hardware environment. And in June, I got my Google IT certificate from Google, and they also pushed me into IBM Cybersecurity Fundamentals, which I've also completed, all while I was also pushing the Africa 2100 entrepreneurship dream, which was most especially to be able to distinguish my IT hardware business from the rest in Abuja. Next slide. So the mission for Artec Solutions is to be able to provide genuine IT hardwares in a business environment where there are a lot of refurbished hardwares, as well as to be able to protect the network security of these hardwares, which for organizations results in a lot of damages of reputation and reliability due to increasing cybersecurity threats. So the problem we are trying to solve is also exactly what I just said. The problem we are trying to solve is refurbish IT hardwares, which leads to loss of trust for organizations like us providing IT hardwares, and to be able to secure these networks in order to provide continuity for business. So the business offering is to partner with IT hardware producers like HP, Lenovo, Dell, and the likes of them, and to provide genuine IT hardwares, as well as providing network of these devices As you can see, these are they have a UPS. They're all in one desktop. We don't even need a CPU below your desk anymore. Everything is all in one into the monitor. You have a printer to serve your organization. Our target audience is enterprise organizations as well as industry-specific organizations. And the value proposition we are offering these organizations for enterprise, we are offering a customized security consulting and managed services for their complex needs, as well as industry-specific clients, which we give them tailored solutions to ensure regulatory compliance, like the needs that cybersecurity regulatory compliance. So for the market estimates, we have in 2024, right now, the market estimate for IT hardware and cybersecurity are both at 44.7 trillion naira right now, and 37.4 billion naira respectively. And in 2029, we are looking at 103 trillion naira, and as well as a 55.56 billion naira market estimate for both industries. So currently, we have we have registered our business with the CSC in Nigeria here on the 1st of May 2024 year. And we also have a business partner certificate with HP, which we secured a few weeks ago. The next milestone we're looking for networking in order, because when we go out and try to present our business, what we get is a breach of trust from this organization. So we were thinking maybe a networking, someone who will refer us as word of mouth, or anyhow we can do it, and that would bridge the trust and the gap in order to move forward. Marketing and sales resources, talent acquisition for the network security most especially. What we need also is a Contier security certificate and a partnership with HP, APC by Schneider Electric for UPS. So what's needed to achieve the next milestone is I want to be registered with NGOs and multinationals. I want to be called for contract bids and contest for contracts. I want to be recognized as a trusted network security. I want to extend my network and most especially leverage LinkedIn as a marketing tool, because I'm more of a B2B business. And for the question whether I've made sales before, I've actually made sales without even having products. And what I do is just put on my profits and return the person's capital for the IT hardware. And the network security is the value proposition that I'm providing right now, which is we protect your networks from rising cyber threats. Thank you very much.
From your presentation, what I've always seen is self-control. You mentioned cybersecurity. So what I want to know is, are you the regular guy that sells computer and phone and pager, computer video? Or what are you doing differently from what everybody is doing? Because you said networking. I know there are people, most people that sells computers and hardware can as well do networking. It's connecting two systems together, really. Or in an office space, interconnection of systems. So if you are doing cybersecurity, I've not seen your product. So that's the reason why I really want to ask.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Definitely, I think one thing you do need to work on is just how audible you are. You come across very shy, and so you're very soft-spoken, but you need to project more. And it's a question I wanted to also ask the previous presenter. What is the purpose of this presentation? Are you looking for funding? Are you looking for partners? Or are you just informing us of what it is you're doing? Because that didn't come across at all. And it's important that, you know, if you're pitching, there should be clarity in terms of exactly what you want from us. Yeah.
Before we get the next comment, you want to respond to what he said?
Like I said, you can walk into Computer Village and everybody will just gather you around and say, what do you want, sir? This is my shop, yeah. I don't do that. You can call me and I'll ask you what you need the system for. For UPS, you can ask me you need a UPS. I'll ask you the load that your device that you want to use the UPS for is carrying. And if you mentioned something around 3 kV, I can provide you a 3 kV UPS. If you need the spec of a particular system, I'll make sure that I provide the certain one that you need. And like I said, they are not refurbished. I don't do refurbished. Computer Village, they can package this thing for you. I stay in the same place, so I see it happen often. Package it in this carton for you, and you won't even know the difference between a refurbished and a genuine system or product. And for the network security you mentioned, you said network actually. The cyber security you mentioned is not cyber security in general, sir. It's network security. For example, now your email, you can receive spam from in your email, and there's something known as phishing and spear phishing. Phishing is general. Spear phishing is specific, whereby they target you in particular. So the plan actually is to work to make sure that we cope that and provide trustworthiness for you and your business.
So we'll take 2 comments and respond just for time.
Yeah.
What do you want from us?
Okay. You see, there's something that needs to come out very clear. You know, I can see that challenge with the first presenter and even with you. The last comment from the gentleman over there brought that up. You see, we'll call it pitch, or we'll call it pitch here. But in real sense, is actually what you're doing is making an investment proposal. That's the only reason why we are here. It's not to hear you speak. The essence is there are people here who might be interested, who have maybe idle money, and they're looking for where to invest that money. So So they are looking at you, they are watching you, and they're watching everything about you. Apart from your character, they're also looking at the business angle. If I put in my money here, how am I going to get it back? That is what we want to hear. Honestly, for some of us, that's the reason why we are here. But the first presenter, Brown, and then you, didn't say anything about money. So what it means is that we'll just listen to you and then go home. But assuming you say, this is where you are, this is what is missing, this is where I want to go to, and this is what I need to get there, and this is what is in need for you if you come on board, either as a partner or a promoter or an investor or a money lender, whichever one it is. So it is very, very important. I always say, you have your business plan, which is your personal document. But once you come in here, you're presenting it to people, it becomes an investment proposal. Why you must come on board. And that's why you need to be very, very strong. And of course, any money will always look at profit. How am I going to get this money back? Is this business profitable? What is unique about it? That's all. Thanks.
So thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. I want to speak first about your public speaking. Some people are born with it, right? While some acquire it. It's possible to acquire it. I always tell my colleagues at work, you can be the smartest guy in the world, but if you cannot convince people that you are smart, what happens? It all stays in your head and you don't sell. I was talking last night and I said, Warren Buffett in an elevator, that's what they call the elevator pitch. Within the first floor and the 30th floor, are you able to convince him to invest in your business? The smart guys do it. They will convince between that first floor and 30th floor. They've convinced you, and the next thing the guy is dropping money. Okay? So deliberately train yourself. Don't. I was like that. So don't feel bad. Okay? There's no crime in it. You can train yourself. Go on YouTube. You can practice in front of a mirror. You record it. You play it back. In a few months, you'll be better at selling your product. So if you have a good product and you can't sell it, it's a waste. So let me talk a bit about entrepreneurship. So there are different routes to it. Some people get investors, some people grow organically. You can actually start from nothing. I started my business in my living room 31 years ago. Today is where it is. So, well, it's nice to have an investor. Sometimes an investor can even take your business from you. So, yeah. So getting an investor is not always the way out. You can grow your business organically. But the truth is, you must be solving a problem. When I talk about this, I always talk about the iPhone. Designed in California, manufactured in China, sold around the world. Whether it's Tinubu that is president or whether it's Buhari that is president or iPhone, we sell. So what product do you have? A friend of mine called me one day. A new iPhone was just released, and he said to me, he said, you know what? I've been at the Apple store since 5 a.m. queuing. I got there, I thought I was early. There were already 100 people on the queue. So the question to you is, what product are you going to sell that people are going to wake up at 5 o'clock to come and queue for? Ask yourself that question. If your business disappears from the surface of the earth, who is going to miss you and why? You have to be able to answer those questions. Do you understand? That's your unique selling point. What is it that people are going to miss? So you have to solve a problem. And I tell you, you must start with that mindset of what? Solving a problem, meeting a need. And once you achieve that, money will start to chase you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike, for your presentation. A number of persons have talked about your personality, so I won't add to that. However, you mentioned that your mother was an entrepreneur, your brother, and all of that. Now, in that space of entrepreneurship, you can't help but be a people's person. You can't help but keep away that shyness, okay? So that said, in trying to get clarity in your proposition, same as we had with the first round, it's a problem that most entrepreneurs who are starting out actually I experienced it before. Most of us have tried business, trying to do a lot of things at the same time. So if I listen to you correctly, you mentioned networking and you mentioned security. if I were you, because networking for me sounds something very common, if you found your way into this space, it is because you've competed against a number of persons and here you are standing. So, and the thing with business is about niching. So for me, the network security, which is the second component, right, should be a better catch. If that's where you want to go, you're known as a network security guy. People are suffering, companies are losing a lot out of that gap. And most of them don't even have the awareness that they need to provide security for their network systems. So if you're the person for that, you should be known for that. Stay with it, rather than be the one that provides the UPS, the computer, so that we don't get you mixed up. So we can coordinate energy, and then you attract the right network and people in that direction. That would be it for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. A lot of people are giving you a lot of feedbacks. I think has a lot ready for you to take in. But I want to reference the response, your defensive response you gave when he said he asked you if you were the regular computer village guy, or so your response was more or less like, I am not in computer village, but I do computer village stuff. That was what you just said, actually, because it's more or less like, I'm going to computer village. They come and ask me, what do you want? I don't sell refurbish, I sell refurbish. It doesn't really matter. It's still the same thing, right? So, and then you say something about hardware, software, that's networking, yeah? Then I feel like there is a way you should learn how to connect both of them, how you are providing both of them as a service. And then there is now like the hardware, I don't know how you get it, the cost, like you didn't do like the business plan and the business cost, running cost, everything. You just give us numbers based on market value. And as much as we are concerned about market value, we are also concerned about how do you currently run the business when it comes to money, right? Okay, I spend X amount to bring in these laptops, and I sell it for X amount, right? Or the reason I'm ensuring that you don't buy refurbished stuff is because of this, you know. So there is almost no business ideology behind what you're doing, right? And I think you should actually like work on that part of it so that we can really know how you are making or losing money, or if investment will actually help you make more money, right? So I think that's just what I just wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to make a few comments to buttress what he said. I think within the hardware industry, there a whole lot is happening. For instance, I was expecting you to talk about introduction of solar panel. How will that help provide light to communities? I assure you that some of our people here will be ready to fund projects like that. Oh, I want to go to a particular community. I've identified that community. I know their numbers. I know what the opportunities are there, and a whole lot can happen. So I think these are areas that you can look at. Thank you.
Again, there are talking areas that I invest in. I invest in startups, IT startups. Number one, I want to borrow from the two gentlemen that are there. First, you got defensive about Computer Village. In fact, those guys are miles away from what you're trying to do. So there's no need to get defensive. Number two, there's elevator pitch. Again, I lost you completely. First, you were casual. To hear you, we had to strain. Number two, you offered no product. In fact, I got excited when you talked about cybersecurity because those are real solutions. Are you developing any software? You were silent on that. Nothing. Then there are no numbers. What are you looking for? You didn't say. What numbers are you making now? You didn't say. What solutions would you provide? You didn't say. So the whole idea is not to get defensive. But when people, this is an opportunity for you. These are things they don't teach in any business school. You understand? So take it in, internalize it, and work on it. If you're asking somebody to give you money, I'm talking about people who made their money the old-fashioned way, and not ways that means money or all these kind of monies. You've got to convince them. And from what you've said, I got absolutely nothing. You're peddling computers, buy and sell hard. What's that? Computer Village will run you out of town. Cybersecurity, you didn't expand on it. You're not developing anything. So there's no product. And then finally, the coup de grace for me was when you now said, I should open doors for you. Why would I do that? I don't know you. You're just starting out. You should get the opportunities and ask me, what is in it for me as an investor? How can we partner? But all you stand here is asking us to open doors for you. What would we do? Are we Father Christmas? This is an investment summit, so you need to be very careful.
I need to come and see you privately, sir. Okay, do we have any other comments? Oh.
I'm so sorry, dear. Really sorry. I'm so sorry. No, the truth is, everybody's right. I think you did a good job in trying to put something together, but we just didn't get it at all. So a lot of people were being kind. I don't know what you do. I don't know. I had to ask her several times, what exactly? I don't know what I'm listening to. So, two things. Shark Tank, Dragon's Den. You ever heard of them?
Yes.
Okay. Do you watch them? Okay. That's the first problem. So I suggest you do. Okay, so you can tell us what it is that you do. You can sell computers, like he said. They have this, what's the place? What did he say? Computer Village. You can actually have your own computer village. Like, if that's your pitch, then that's your pitch. Do you know what I mean? But we really didn't know, we didn't know what you were selling. All right, so I suggest you go back to the drawing board and get it right. You can't sell anything, right? You can set up business, do anything. You just need to know what it is yourself and convince other people as to what that is. So watch those programs, please.
Okay. Are we done? Any comments?
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. So I think you should start setting up. We have the last but not the least candidates. How's it so far? Okay. We have the last but not the least candidates. Please set up. I cannot help you. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Please, may I have your attention, please? Good morning, everyone. My name is Damilola Iyanuluwa Adekoya. I'm a fashion designer. Okay. So I been having this. I am someone that loves and spending time with myself. And because of that nature of me, I tend to think more and imagine things. So that's where my drawing skills starts from. So I started drawing when I was young. And then while I was in school, I would draw sketch out styles for my friends to give to their tailors to make for them. So after school, I decided to pursue fashion designing. So I went to learn. So as you can see, what we have here, please look at the screen. What I ordered versus what I got. You can imagine I want to attend an event and I want to look this way. And this is what was delivered to me. Or looking this way, and this was what was delivered. I'm very sure we are very familiar with this kind of problem. It's very common. You give tailors measure, they will take your measurements, and then at the end of the day, the product you receive, the service is nothing compared to what you wanted delivered to you. So that is where their design comes in. This is the problem we want to solve. We want to solve the problem of getting what you don't order for. Customers want to own their look. Everybody wants to look different. And people are willing to pay reasonable price for that service. So what do we want to do? The vision, please. So what we want to do is to help sociable women, fashionable women, infuse their sketched imagination into their styles. So you come to me as a fashion designer, you tell me what you want to, what event you're going for, and what you want to look like. So I make some kind of sketch for you, I show it to you. Do you like what you see? If you say yes, we proceed. If you say no, we make the amendment needed or the adjustment needed. Or we show you different styles. We can, tweak here and there just to arrive at what you have in your mind. So what we want to do is to help fashionable women, sociable women, look their style. So what do we offer? What do we want to offer? We are offering a customized service at a reasonable price to meet our customer needs. And how do we want to provide this service? We are going to be sketching, like I said before, sketching designs to suit customers' body type. We already have a library of basic blocks that we can easily adopt for to enable us deliver at the time that is proposed. So you're not going to get your delivery later than you bargained for. You're going to get it the time you required, the time you wanted it delivered to you. We already built a collection of portfolios of what we have done, and we already have few prototypes. Please go back to that slide. A few prototypes and samples of what we have done, like what I'm wearing now. I made this, and if you please look at that mannequin over there, that is one of the work that is one of the work we do too. Yes, please. So what's the market like? In Nigeria alone, we have about 110 million women. Of course, we are not going to serve the whole 110 million women. Like I said before, we are focusing on fashionable women, women that want to own their look. They don't want to look like everybody else. They want to look different and beautiful. So those are the customers we are looking at. Those are the targets we have. That's the target. And then if we look at this chart down here, we can see that the market for custom apparel is more for women compared to men. I've adjusted this, but I don't know what, I can't download the slide. And I also said that if you put 10 women in a room, like 7 out of them is probably fashionable. If you look at the women in this room, you see that almost all of us are looking different. Mommy here is looking different from the mommy sitting beside her. I'm looking different from Dr. Berio. We are all looking different and beautiful in our own way. So what we want to do is help you achieve that look, whatever you want to look like. So what are strengths? We are going to be capitalizing on the strength we have by using sketch designs, still sketch designs. And then we already have loyal customers down already. We are planning on getting more. And then we have different packs for our customers. The point is to meet you at the point of your need. what you want to be done to you. That is what we want to do. That's why we say we are offering a customized service. So right now, where we used to be in March 2024, this is where we used to be. We have just about 5 customers. They returning customers that we make clothes for. But right now, as I speak, we have about 15 customers. Like one person, a customer can bring like 5 clothes. One customer can bring like 5 clothes, some we bring 2 or 3 like that. So, and then during in March, we have just 2 domestic machines that we use. But right now, this is where we are. We have 3 domestic machines, 1 industrial sewing machine, a domestic weaving machine, a stoning machine, and a cover button machine. Before, it's usually me that does everything, just me. But now we have added to the team. We have 3 people. 2 people have joined the team now. So we are 3 in team. So what do we want to do? Currently, what we do is we make like at least a dress per day. That's like we work Monday to Saturdays. So we make like 6 dresses in a week and then about 24 per month. And the average monthly income is about 150,000. So what we want to move to where we are currently now. We want to be able to make more dresses, like 5 dresses per day, 30 per week, and then 120 in a month, at least at the least. That's where we want to move to. So how are we going to achieve this? We're going to be using physical meetup, like in church. I've gotten a lot of customers from church where I attend. So we are going to be doing physical meetup at events also. Nigeria, we are known for Owambes, So going to some of these events to meet people, potential customers, and also at parties. So we are also going to be using social media marketing to ensure people know about our brand. And also, we also depend on the referrals and the recommendation that we get from our existing customers. And then we are going to be providing some kind of incentive to them so they can continue to refer and recommend us to potential customers. So this is the team we have right now. That's me. I'm the creative designer, the drawer, the sketcher. And we have an accountant just joined the team, and the fashion assistant that also, we are looking at adding more people to the team. Like we need more professional tailors. We need social media and technical partners. But this is what we have right now. So what am I asking for? What are we asking for? We are asking for recommendation. Maybe you know someone that is very good, a social media marketer, someone that can help us put our business out there to build our brand. We need somebody like that. We are also asking for referrals, customers. You can refer us. We deliver. Whatever you want delivered is what you get. We are also asking for funding. We need to get a space for the business. Currently, business is being run in my living room, and the apartment is just a room and a mini flat. So the business is being done in my sitting room, and I have machines everywhere. I have clothes everywhere. So looking at moving the business to a new space where customers can walk in, that will be open to customers, where they can walk in at any time. Because I use the home, it's really not, I can't really open to everybody like that because it's personal. So we need space that will be owned by the business, that customers can walk in any time of the day. And we also need funding to get more industrial machines. We have just 1 industrial machine now. If we want to produce 5, because we are producing 1 or 2 currently. So if we want to move to 5, we will need more industrial machines. And not just because of the number, but because of the kind of stitches you get from an industrial machine is better than the one from domestic machine. We also need industrial weaving machine. We need pressing iron and website to be built. We also need a technical partner to join us. So thank you for your time.
Okay. It's starting from there this time.
Thank you very much. By the way, I love your dress.
Thank you, sir.
I love what you have there. Really nice.
Thank you, sir.
But you need to decide. You want to serve a niche market or you want to mass produce? You have to answer that question first. Do you understand what I mean? You say you want to customize. Okay. You know to customize, you have to sell very expensive stuff. You understand? Because if you are serving few, if you make only 5 products, you sell at 1 each. Or you produce 100 and or something like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to decide niche. If you are selling niche, your product has to be for the very rich who can pay big money for you to meet your numbers. Things are very expensive now. Now, I have another issue for you. Talent. You might be doing this now because you are sewing alone. By the time you want to increase the number, can you meet that quality? That's a struggle. I know the Olasego brought in Chinese tailors, Filipino tailors, thank you. Because you can't find tailors, or bring tailors from Senegal. By the time you get 100 orders now, can you fulfill them? Can you meet the same quality? I doubt it. So you need to think about that seriously and decide if you want to serve a niche market or you want to mass produce for everybody to buy and then you make on your numbers. And there's an idea. There's one company in Boston that was doing something one time. They went to social media, asked people to put in their designs as a competition, right? And they will vote online. You know, young generation, people like to vote, all those things that you're doing online. And then they will now choose the best design. Before you do that, you sign something that once your design is chosen, is now the property of the company. They will now mass produce that. And what were they doing? By getting a lot of maximum, let's say 100,000 this design. By 100,000 people want to buy. You already have a market. So just an idea. You want to do mass, you want to do niche. If you want to do niche, you have to sell really good stuff and it has to be at a high price. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you again for your presentation.
Thank you, sir.
But again, I don't see any business here. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you told us about the ladies that are dressed fashionably, about how women are beautiful. So you spoke about nothing to do with your business, a scale of 1 to 10, about 7. And you spend the last 3 trying to sell your business. It should be the other way around. Because you're focused, you're trying to talk to people, you're trying to convince them. Again, my brother talked about the elevator principle. I'm going to share something with you guys before I leave because I'm on a time. I had to stop him. Because some of the things this program is teaching you is what they don't teach you in any business school. You have 3 minutes to sell to a chief executive. 3. Don't tell me to make decision. Give me variables to make decision. It's not my original idea. I was pitching to a CEO of a bank, and he just told his PA, tell Mr. Angerem to shut up. That's how I learned. He said, you have 3 minutes to sell to a chief executive. If he asks you a question, go to 4. Watch his eyes. If he's interested, go to 5. For example, your business right now is practically bankrupt by your own admittance. You said you're making 150,000. You've just added people, so there are about 3 in the business. Immediately, I did a quick math. I won't be interested in this because you're not making a living wage. If what you make in a month is 150,000, you can see. So you've lost your investor by your own cannibalization of your business. So that is why this program will teach you. Somebody said, watch Shark's Tank, watch Lion's Den, okay? They will teach you how to make pitches so that you don't cannibalize yourself or you don't beat your drum backwards. Instead of marching forward, you're marching backwards. That's what you've just told us. And then you told us that, again, on a scale of 1 to 10, about the third point. So immediately I lost interest, that the business is practically in reverse. Because 150,000 in today's Nigeria is practically not a living wage. But all these things we're talking, don't internalize it as negative. In fact, it's positive. And that is why Africa 2100 is so crucial. Somebody like, I have so many things to do, but one is about young people, about employment. It was raining. I made out time to come here. So please, I beg of you, don't take some of our comments. Don't internalize it and go. Just use it, leverage on it to improve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, hi. Okay, I happen to be in this fashion industry, right? Yes, sir. I have a very big problem with you, very, right? I've spoken to you on the phone, so I know you, right? You need to go back to fashion school. So technically, to me, you're not there at all. I'm looking at what you're wearing, and this is not a criticism at all, but what you're wearing is not even constructed properly. Yeah. So I'm not paying you money to make my clothes. And hone skills. That's really what you want to do. People will pay you a lot of money for it, but it needs to be practically perfect. Do you understand? So I think that's the first thing. And then your numbers, your math was not mathing at all. It didn't make sense. You can't want to make what you said it was 150,000 with 4 dresses. I calculated that each unit was 6K. Your fabric is more than 6K. It wasn't working. So there's something very wrong with that whole thing there, right? But I suggest you go back to the drawing board. And I had said this to you the first time I spoke to you, you have to go back to the drawing board, right? No, we're not trying to be funny. There are lots of people making clothes, a lot of people in this business. We sell thousands. Do you know what I mean? And we still have issues. You've not even started with tailors and all of that. You don't even, you haven't even scratched the surface. Right? But go back to school first, or go back to a training school, or go somewhere else. Come to someone like me or somewhere else where you will hone these skills because you don't have them. Right?
Thank you, Ma.
That's an open check right there.
Thank you. Okay, so I've heard everybody, but I want to commend you for your energy, for your enthusiasm, for the passion, because that all came through. I also think that the presentation, you actually had the elements, whether the detail was there or not, you had the elements. And if I was to be an investor, I would invest in you from the perspective of helping you to harness your talent, the coaching, the mentoring, and the support. And as the lady over there has said, having someone like her as a mentor is still an investment. Because sometimes we look at investment in monetary terms, but having a mentor with the expertise to help you to harness your talent is even more important than the money that you can get. So I really enjoyed your presentation. I'm not a designer. I haven't got a cooking clue how things should look, but I was impressed with the fact that you had something to show. I was impressed with the fact that you were wearing one of your creations, that boldness, that courage, that, you know, in entrepreneurship, we have what they call the blue heart. And I think you have the blue heart. So just keep honing that and seek the mentorship that's been offered and get the support you need in order to go to the next level.
Thank you, Ma.
And just to add on top of that, actually, and this is actually a very important thing I want to say right now through all the past people who have just presented. So I came here today to actually learn a huge big deal about what it is to learn how to pitch an idea and understand that pitching, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's as funny as I'm saying, as we are laughing about this now, but the thing is, if it was that easy, then everybody that I know of would have been able to have their ideas on the table by now. But I commend everyone who has tried. As now, when we get the criticisms, and someone like me, for example, I'm not always that great at taking the criticism on board. But there's a reason why the painful truth is important. It does elevate us to do better and to remind ourselves that our dreams are not shut down just because someone criticizes our ideas. It is there to remind us that we aspire to a greater future. That is what that is what I'm here to learn, and why I thank you to show me a new, better way.
Thank you.
Okay, actually, yeah, your confidence is actually like really, to be honest, you really did great. Just wanted to reference very quickly. The fashion industry is a wicked industry, right? A lot of people dwell on you, depend on you to make them look good, feel good about themselves. You see, when, in his case, it's a laptop. I'm not carrying my laptop around for people to see how fine it is, right? Laptop, anywhere, anyhow. But you, if I have to dress well and I have to wear your product, I have to be really, really good. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you're jumping into niche customization of product, you need to be very good. You need to understand the psychology of looking good when it comes to fashion, right? I've seen a lot of people lose customers because they went to with the clothes that a tailor helped them sew did not really give a lot of good impression, right? So, and then the business side of that, I just wanted to reference what the man said there. You took a lot of time to talk about women and less about the business. You really need to focus on that number, because, you know, after all those things, there were too little information on why we should give you money. Right? So you need to actually do the other way around. Really, really talk about the numbers, cost of production. You said you make one dress per day. So that means if I actually meet you, I tell you I want to make something, I could get it the next day or something like that. I don't know. You need to explain, to be very expansive, because numbers are critical to, you know, investor businesses. They want to lose sight on how their money will be spent. Right, so I think you should actually really focus on that. But aside that, you did a great job. Like, the presentation was wonderful, and we all learned a few things, to be honest. And also, I'm not really good at pitching. I don't like pitching. So most of my businesses, I have done them on my own, by myself, at my own closed doors. And I'm grateful to God we have gotten to. But yeah, in general, trust me, I would rather not pitch. So I get where he said that. I'd rather not pitch. But yeah, but aside that, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Sincerely, when you started, I was nodding my head, because the steps that an entrepreneur is supposed to take in grooming a business, you were taking the steps, one after the other. So that area, you did very well. When you want to start an enterprise, these are steps you are expected to take, starting from your passion, that thing that makes you happy, and then try to see how you can monetize this passion to be able to have a business. So that area, you did very well. But like everybody has said, you need to be very clear who you want to serve. That's your target audience. From the numbers you presented, I can see that to make a cloth costs, you charge about 6,250. And that's, for me, that's cheap. The cheapest Chinese t-shirt is about 6,000. And I'm asking myself, why would you what kind of material are you going to use to make a cloth for me for that amount? I have a tailor that he's been dealing with me. Honestly, I crawl to him, I beg him. He doesn't know this. But imagine somebody charging me 350,000 just for a cloth. And he's telling me he's because he's me. And I'm looking at him and I say, so if it's not me, how much are you going to charge? This is just yesterday. I'm supposed to drop ₦1,000,000 for him today. And he's telling me, he's actually threatening me on top of that. Look, that if I don't do now, that to avoid traffic, that was the word he used, to avoid traffic, I need to engage immediately. I say, in these words, Kizito, that is a born entrepreneur, that somebody is holding me to ransom this way. But you know why he's doing that? He has a very strong value proposition. Very strong. And he will tell you that the material he's going to use is among the best. If you tell him that, but they sell Canali suit, 250,000, 360, he will tell you that his own is better. You see how bold he is. And truly, the clothes come out very good. I go to him maybe once a year or twice a year because I can't afford him every day. You know? So that is what you need to do. You need to find out who do you want to serve. The people that wear 10,000 naira clothes or the people that wear 1,000,000 naira dress. They are there. They are there. Sometimes it's having that boldness to walk up to somebody and say, look, I love what you're wearing. I can see you love fashion. Let me make something for you. You can invest your money, make something unique, and the person sees it and says, wow, this is good. Can you make one more for me? And that's the way it starts. You know, don't forget that sometimes we go on social media to look at all these designs. But there's no better marketing than testimonial. Who made this cloth for you? And say, this is the person. You don't need to market again. They will just bring the cloth for you and they trust you because of what we call transferred trust. Now, finally is money, funding. At the end of the day, you mentioned that you need space. But you didn't tell anybody how much that space is going to cost. So imagine if I'm here today to invest in your business. I'm going home not knowing how much I'm supposed to bring to you. Now, even if you mentioned, how do I know the payback period? What are you going to give me in return? How many clothes do you need to sew within that period, maybe 5 years, to be able to settle me and then take care of your staff? Again, remember what I said, I know one of the sessions I was with 2 people, I said, look, you can start a business of selling mineral in a day and close it up in that same day. What I mean is that you buy a crate of mineral, chill it, and by the end of the day, you're done. You know your profit. You might be okay with that. But once you get 2 people to join you, that business might not be able to take care of you people again. Something has to change. So that is one area you need to work on. And in your private time, do that. Because people will walk up to you. If they like what you sew, they walk up to you and tell you to your face to say, I like this business you're doing. How can I come in? Now, if you're not prepared, you don't know what to tell them. And they will, in their mind, they say, this woman is not serious. So you need to know, how much do you need? What is the payback period? What are you going to use the money for? Which clientele should you focus on to be able to achieve the objective? That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, actually, what I have to say was covered, so I'll keep it brief. I think it's really about knowing your customer. From the calculations you did earlier, you are charging, and I assume your customers give you fabric and then you sew, right? So you need to know your customer well. Obviously, the same time it takes you to sew that 6,000 or 5,000 naira dress is the same time, more or less, give or take maybe an hour, it's going to take you to sew a dress that you can sew for 25,000. But you need to know your customer. Obviously, it's better that you have a customer who can pay you 20,000 to sew a dress. You make more money, but do you have access to those customers? So you really need to know your, I said 25,000. There are people who sew for 200,000, but you need to have access to those people. So really understand your customer and make sure the quality you are offering is at par with that customer. I think you should take up the opportunity for an internship with the lady who offered it. You have absolutely nothing to lose, and everything to gain.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Fashion is something of interest even to the men, ladies' fashion, as you heard them speaking. I'll just give you 2 examples. I know what you're trying to do is bespoke. I'll put it to you as a starter is very unattractive at the moment. Everybody's heading towards ready to wear. Because when you do ready to wear, you cut the trouble, the hassle of going to me, looking for what fabric I want, what style I want, coming to you, and that back and forth relationship. So people just want to make something. That's where everybody's headed now, ready to wear. But if you want to do bespoke, which is what you're proposing, you need a huge network, clouds, high-end people who can pay you for the effort that you're putting in. And I can also speak to your 3 staff that you say you have. Don't bank on them. If you speak to any fashion designer, they have a serious fundamental problem with keeping their staff at the moment. So you may just lose that 3 that you have from one morning to the next. What will you do to the customers that you have lined up? So I don't know if you're equipped to meet the needs of these people. You may want to reason all of these over again and see how you can put in a least effort, providing quality and then making the most of your funds or revenue out of it, because this is what anybody who wants to put in their money want to know. Those for the high end, I have somebody at Lekki who makes clothes really very high. She confessed to me recently, people can't buy. So, and another person I know whose clothes are not that expensive, they're ready to wear, sells low because, where they source their material is quite cheap. The person insists that it is turnover for them than the bigger money. So I'm making ready to wear and I'm selling like 10,000, 12,000 each. You come to me, you pick like 5, and that's like 60,000 naira. As opposed to burning 1 week, trying to make one dress, I'm going to pay 12,000 or 10,000 naira for. So you may want to reason all of these and see what is in the market, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Ma.
Nice presentation. Something that everybody has said, but I wanted to just touch on it is confidence, right? Part of the challenge I had with the numbers you presented is, and I was just discussing it with, so it's around confidence, right? If you understand the quality of what you're making, and the reason you would ask to move from 150K to 600,000 is essentially because you're looking at the environment where you are and it's influencing your decision. So move your benchmark a bit higher, right? Look at bigger opportunities and trust that you are good enough. Then go learn. You have the basics. You already are able to sketch designs and all that. Maybe then you just need to put the finishing touches on, getting the necessary skills to transfer those design into tangibles and giving it the fine finish, which is what everybody is looking for. And once you get there, then, we've been saying for bespoke designs, you can pay as high as 250, 350,000. It is until you trust yourself to that point that you can do it. There are some people who may not be as good as you are right now who are charging that much, but it's just about confidence because they trust that they are good enough. And once you are able to understand that you're good enough, then it helps you translate those ideas into the tangibles, and that's the tangibles that pays.
Thank you.
Okay, this is actually for everyone that presented. I think you've had enough already. Your head off. So this is what I want. This is what I want to say. I don't think you guys are obsessive about being successful. Generally, right? There is this thing. If you are obsessed about being successful, number one, you must be prepared to accept failure first as success. You understand? Because there's a process to these things. So let me tell you a very quick story. I've had a long relationship with Dr. Barrow. I used to go from Ikorodu to Pan Atlantic University to go and hear an advice I can listen over the phone. She's here. I'm being very honest, right? She would attack me back to back, tell me Bright, why are you wearing your bag like this? He started, and then I have to feel bad about myself. But I don't feel bad about myself and look at her as somebody who is just judging me. I see it more or less like she's concerned about my growth. You know, every step I take every day. And it's not always very easy. It was actually really bad. She would give me transport to actually go back home. Actually, it's not. I don't look like this from the beginning. No, I look very, very bad. You know, but then I'll sit down. Sometimes I don't have project. There was one time I cried to her. I did not have access to go to university. It was bad, actually. And it wasn't a funny process. But I started out somewhere. I built a language firm. Right now, I have people doing language. I dropped language, but my language firm is running, right? And I ventured into different businesses over time. I failed well. Oh. I lost money, big money. Sometimes I invest, 2 million, 5 million. I'm already running mad, you know, and it's not a funny experience, you know. But, you know, when you see people, you look like they're giving you advice as if it was success all through. It's a big lie. I mean, it's never success all through. But there is something about being obsessed about being successful. You know, one is excellence. You want to ensure that whatever it is you're doing, you are putting in that extra effort that the 1% are putting to, like, that is making them the 1% in the first place, right? In my life, I would not think I'll be wearing a wristwatch like this or wearing an attire like this, because I felt like it was not going to be that easy, you know, and it was not funny at all. So what I really want to say to everybody is, if you really want to be successful in your life, no matter how low ball or high ball the whole experience is, ensure you make the best out of it, because that is the only way you will learn. You know, like I said, success is not when you make the big money. Success is when you understand what it means to, what they used to say, they say, it's not called failure. It's just more or less like you tried something that just didn't work, just try another thing, right? Or you tried something, you did it a certain way, it didn't work that way, try another way, right? That's the whole idea. Once you know you've tried, you feel drop and say, oh, this business is not for me, and then you start something else. It's not really easy, right? She will always tell me, go and touch up your LinkedIn, have a business, register your business, do all of these things. And it was stressing me because I'm like, I just want to do something and make money, but it's never like that. Number one, packaging. Learn how to package yourself. Like some of the slides I actually saw, some of them were not really great, but they were good. You passed across the information you wanted to pass across. Examples or you want to give to us. Also, I wanted to just quickly mention, like a lot of you guys did not really mention your competitors, people you actually either you admire or people you feel like you are in the same, you know, exactly. Like that's the whole idea. So you want to actually pick example. I don't know who you guys mentors are. You already have an opportunity. Everybody's saying you should take it, so I would advise you should take it as well. And I think you guys should actually take a lot of time to learn about business, even before entrepreneurship, actually, because entrepreneurship is actually a character of business. You need to know what it means to build a business before you even begin to tell yourself that you are an entrepreneur, right? So there's a lot of character that comes with. You have to ensure that if everybody is panicking, you are there, and you're like, yes, I know it did not go well, but then I'm just going to do it again. You understand? So, you know, there is this obsessiveness for success and wanting to build, not the negative obsession, right? I mean, like, you know what it really takes and you're ready to put in that work. If you want to get what other people are not getting, you have to do what other people are not doing, right? So that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other? Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for her. We can get of all of them, actually. Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. We'll be wrapping up soon, but we want to first appreciate everyone for the contribution, the advice, the questions. I'm sure they would go back and see how to make improvements in their business. Before we go, we're going to give general comments. Hello, do you mind, madam? We're going to make general comments, to all of them, how they can better business, and perhaps we'll have Mr. Trudy Oh, he's not coming to say anything. But for now, general comments to the three of them, how they can make their business better, next steps, something you want to say to Africa 2100, this is the time. Thank you.
So I had to be the first before somebody says what I want to say. Okay, so my comment really to those that presented, well done. I mean, the courage, the effort you put in to put all of this presentation together. For some of you, it may just be the first, your very first. It can only get better. To those that have prepared you in these 12 weeks, so this time, I know 12 weeks may just not be adequate to make you the business people want to see, but I'd like to appeal on your behalf that more be done in guiding you, because in my opinion, your ideas need a little bit more of clarity, and achieving that clarity is important for yourself and for your potential investors, because it will curate your effort better. If you get more clarity in what you want to do, you move faster, and they will also predispose you to find people who are going to invest in you, partner. So if there's anything that the organization Africa 2100 can do to add to what has been done in these 12 weeks to enable them get clarity in what they want to do, that would be fine. Thank you.
I congratulate all of you today, because what has happened today is one of those positive steps you have to take in the life of entrepreneurship or in the world of entrepreneurship. Yes, for some people, they shy away from criticism. But sometime in life, sometime in the future, you realize that criticism is that education you don't pay for. It comes free. Some of us desired it and never got it. Some of us never had the opportunities for somebody to, don't go this direction, go this way. And we learned through our mistakes. And those mistakes, we're still making them. That's the truth. As an entrepreneur, you keep making mistakes. Even Apple will tell you that this particular product didn't sell. They won't tell you the reason. They withdraw it. And there must be a reason. So the mistakes will always be made. But be bold enough to accept those mistakes and then move forward. Don't dwell on the mistakes. The Africa 2100 have actually done what they can do for you. Giving, because without the foundation, you're not going anywhere. Now you know what entrepreneurship entails. Now you realize that passion, you need to know what you want. How you get there, of course, will be an experience, because as you're moving, you will stumble along the way. But you stumble, you fail, you stand up. If I tell how many times I've shed tears quietly in my room, in my office, you won't believe it. But there are times I come out spending like tomorrow no day, because I've made so much money. That's the life of entrepreneurship. So keep it up, keep doing what you're doing. Again, for some people, they shy away from collecting money. I have on 2 occasions, people offered money to say, look, I like what you're doing. Can I invest? And I was afraid. I say, if I take this money and then this business collapses, what am I going to tell this person? Say, look, let me just struggle on my own. So at the end of the day, I struggled on my own. I still got to where maybe slower, but I still got, well, I'm still, I've not gotten to where I want to be, but the journey is on and the target is very clear. So, keep networking among yourselves. You have your contacts, discuss your ideas, and then I think you're going to, by this time next year, it will be some good stories that you'll be, sharing with Dr. Burial. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I started Africa 100, right? All right. Now, this is a very bold initiative in the sense that I think I have a kind of personal experience for 3 days now. There's a particular lady that calls me every day. Are you going to attend? Are you going to attend? Are you going to attend? At a point, I said, I have to attend so that she will stop calling me. So I'm here now, and this is the first time I'm attending this kind of thing. I used to watch Lions Den. Who knows them? After watching them for a few weeks, I stopped watching. Because the way they do businesses and you dare not, I think Donald Trump appeared in one of them as off the TV. I don't want to listen anymore. Because you think you have a bold idea. Suddenly somebody will demolish it to the level that you'll be dissatisfied with what you're doing. You know, but I think I'm beginning to reconceptualize one or two things with this attendance, you know. Trying to understand what business is, how they work, actually. It's not just what you are taught in school. It has nothing to do with it. It's your personal experience. Then two, your environment. Environment matters, right? These days, some people are moving away from Lekki to private houses in Ajah to do business. And I asked the guy, why did you move from VI to Ajah? He said, brother, you're not going to understand. Whatever that means, I don't know. So better, it's okay. We are comfortable with what you're doing, and I'll look forward to attending the next one. Probably I may have to ask a lot of questions there. Now, for the presenters, I think the potential is there. That bold to stand with all of us. I think that's the winning streak. Let me use that explanation, because it's not easy to stand here. The guy has gone. You know, when you start speaking, I usually have jitters because I know it's that guy that stays there. Because I know something is going to happen to presenters, just like the Lions Den, actually. You know, but there are kind of boldness, there this kind of feeling that we can do it. So for the three presenters, I think it's a short story. Whatever we say here, whatever, or any wash, it doesn't really matter. Just go home, adjust your business, and continue the story. By the time the next 5 years, we wouldn't believe what will happen, you know. Yeah. So, thank you very much.
Okay, to add something, one thing with business is that, especially being an entrepreneur, requires that you have domain knowledge. You need to know what you're getting into. And the best way to learn is to learn from others. There are certain things you shouldn't experience when you start your own business. And that's why it's important to learn it from another person's business. So when, like the example of the fashion lady, Dia, where she was told to do internship. So many things you learn to do or not to do, and you can only learn that from another person's business. If those type of errors happen in your own business, that is the end of it. So one thing I would like to say is that in the space where you want to get into and operate, what level of experience do you have there? When I was working earlier during my career, I met one of my mentors and I said, I'm tired of working for people. I want to start my own business. He asked me, what do you people do in the company where you work? And the question didn't make sense to me. And he said, how do you make money in that? I thought it was because we were providing this and people were paying us subscription, but I didn't where the money was from. And he said, go back and learn where the money was coming from. And it took me 2 years, and I actually paid attention. I saw it. It wasn't just about the subscription. There was a lot more where the money was coming from. And I couldn't have known that if then from somewhere or someone who was already doing it. And today, it helps me, and it continues to help me in, you know, setting up my business and businesses that I run at the moment. So what
place I'm going to is take time, learn from people who are already doing it. Volunteer your time, work with them, work and learn. Look out for the things not to do, the things that are harming their businesses that you shouldn't repeat in yours, and learn those things that work, those things that make them stand out, and always highlight them and make them the pillars of your own business. And that's what will make you successful as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions. Have one, anybody want to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the three of you? Okay. Okay.
Okay, everyone. I think that's loud enough. Okay, everyone. We have all heard your criticisms and corrections and encouragements. And on behalf of the team, I want to say thank you, and most especially for me. And for the rest, we are all going back to the drawing board and doing better for our businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for taking time on your to come here and engage with our candidates on behalf of Mr. Trudy, on behalf of Africa 2100. We thank you. We hope to do better in terms of coming from Nigeria. We're still doing this in Kenya. We're still doing this in Ghana. As Mr. Trudy said earlier, we're going to Uyo on Friday to have a workshop. We're praying and hoping, that we'll get people who are serious-minded, who are ready to make the change in their business. Mr. Trudy, well, you find out more about him. There are so many things I have in mind, but I'm just going to leave it and say thank you. Big thank you to everyone. Congrats to those who finished the 12th module and are here to present. We have a small souvenir as you're going. We're going to be giving it to you, our guest, and we thank you for the time being here. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day.